Yeah, it's been great being back. It's my first time being back in 3 years, so since I graduated. It's weird. It's like, it feels like nothing has changed, but a lot has changed. Like I was talking to someone, like I remember where a specific trash can was, and like it wasn't there anymore. But then obviously, like, you know, like the hot shop's the same, the energy here is the same. And it's just great seeing Angus again. Like, again, it hasn't changed. Like, the energy here is still the same. It's a lot warmer than I remember. But the heart of everything feels good. So the way that it started is I approached Angus and then our other co-collaborator, Dan Napolitano, and the three of us kind of met and we talked about a way to kind of introduce like a kind of another audience of glass makers into the Alfred glass community. And a lot of this came out of like kind of the awakening of like the larger like America after everything that happened with George Floyd and COVID and all that other kind of craziness. And Angus and Dan were super open. They were like, yeah, what do you need? We can make this happen. And so I think the first series happened my junior year. And we had Kosi Barber, Cedric Mitchell, Sarah Beth. So we had 3 people. And at the time I had no idea what it took to kind of put together an event like that. And Dan and Angus were awesome because they filled out tons of paperwork. We did the auction, we did a gallery show. So there was a lot that kind of was involved in that process. So as a student, it was great because I got to kind of learn what it took to kind of bring visiting artists out. And it was also cool to see my peers get to see people I admired a lot online as makers and as craftspeople. Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking 5 years back, and to think of Nkosi, Cedric, Sarah Beth, Leo Tukoski's been here, Percy Eccles has been here, Kim Thomas has been here. I'm sure I'll forget a few, but for me and for my students and for my colleagues, just to have these extraordinary artists coming through has been just a gift. So I just wanted to thank Adeye personally for that, because the idea was Adeye's, and to be a part of the collaboration has been a pleasure, right? And it's kept us, I think, closer in contact, so we can sort of check on each other, see how we're doing. I've been amazed at Adeye's career since graduating, right? I wonder what part of the country they're in, or who they're working with, or launching a new business. Do you want to shout out your new business?
Yeah, I just started a business called AJB Glass, and a lot of the work that is in that business was stuff that I developed when I was here at Alfred. So like I was making eyes this week and I was like, oh my God, I literally made these eyes when I was at Alfred.
But there's been support since the beginning, and it's progressed. But I think I want to thank Dan for sure. We miss you. But I want to thank all the students that have donated work to the auctions over the years. Like, that's raised thousands and thousands of dollars to help support this series. So that grassroots is really important to me. Olympic Color Rods has been a sponsor of this series for the last 5 years and are strong to keep going. And then, this year the school really stepped up to support the series. So I still am interested in the grassroots because the community is showing support. The students show up to help, right? And they show up to help the artists make the stuff and get ready. And like with Lindsay Berry here this week, students are helping, showing up, excited about seeing new stuff. But I just really appreciate like all that support. I will say that like when Corey was here, Corey Pemberton, I'm a big fan. I heard a conversation with Corey and Will Wheeler, and it was early days in the series, and they were sort of like, isn't it nice that like people are caring about black people for a minute? And that was upsetting to me that like it would just care for a year because of Black Lives Matter. And I was like, that's heartbreaking. And I wanted to, from before that moment and from that moment on, I was like, this is a sustainable series, and we can stay collaborators and keep this energy going indefinitely.
I don't also think a big credit to Angus. It's not a light lift, the series. Like, you're bringing a visiting artist out specifically to a place that is very rural.
Yeah.
Like, I was here for 4 years, and I was coming from a place that was very urban to coming to a place that was very rural. So like, you bring somebody here for a week, you are trying to also making sure that they, as a host, like, feel comfortable in the shop, feel supported, feel seen. And I've only, like, again, after I graduated, I haven't really come back. So I've only heard positive things of, like, Angus and students and the community. And I think that has a lot to do with SDS as a whole. Yeah. I think that you guys have really did a great job of building out a team of people who really make people feel seen. And I hear a lot people, I mean it, like, I don't have to worry about the series when I'm, after graduating, because I knew that there were people who really cared and cared about their students. And when you care about your students, they show up. They show up for the people who come to the community, and they make people feel good about themselves. And so I know that, like, coming back to even see the community here, it's just, again, faculty might be slightly different, the studio might look a little bit different, but the energy is the same. And it's really disheartening sometimes when I hear other students at other universities, they don't have that same experience. Like, I get messages all the time like, oh my God, it's so cool that you guys have the Black Glass Artist Series at Alfred. Oh my God, we want something like this, but it's like our school can't afford it, and da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, if you care about these issues and you care about these things, you make the budget, you make the time, you make the effort. And I never had to worry about that as a student at Alfred, because I felt seen, I felt heard, even when, again, you look at it, I look at it now, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of hours to, like, do that. And, we all have our own lives outside of here. But when you care about the issues, you put forth the time and the effort. So thank you guys. I really appreciate that.
Well, we love you. We also got, we applied and lectured together at the Urban Glass Educational Symposium 2 years ago now. Yeah, and that was really wonderful to say, to go out to a larger glass community of educators and promote that this kind of programming is sustainable, is exciting. There's a lot of great artists that can be invited in through this series, and it was just a pleasure to be in a professional setting with someone I'd worked with in undergrad, to be standing shoulder to shoulder. And, like, my favorite part, and I'm going to be honest with you, my favorite part is after that lecture, everybody from the audience, a dozen people, came to talk to Adeye, and they didn't want to talk to me, and I was like, this is working out. This is working out. Yeah.
When you do something, I think, like, it's really cool to see the impact of it and how it's kind of grown and changed. Like, I know with Cedric, like, we got him right before all these, like, big and awesome and crazy things that he's doing, and, like, starting to stack the shapes. And I know that, like, Corey, he was already doing the patterning, he built on that. Leo has done the letters. I know Ashley Harris had never had a chance to work with the color pot. So I think also looking at the series as a way to, like, how are we creating, like, larger impact? How are we influencing research within the larger glass community? Those things have also been really cool to see, and I don't know. I'm excited to see how it continues to evolve, how it changes, and just to see what the long-term impacts, not only for the artists but also for the students at Alfred. So. Yeah.